Hello, gay people. Games Closet here. I know what you're about to say. You know that I'm gay. Well, I know that you should be. Um, Today I'm going to film a video because I've been noticing something strange has been happening for the past, I think, like 2.5 weeks now. Why am I talking in this register? Why am I talking down here? Like, I know, like, I got this haircut. It makes everybody think, have I told you? Everybody thinks I look like a 14-year-old boy. I was at Longhorn Steakhouse the other day. My mom, my grandma, two younger siblings, and the waitress kept coming by and performatively calling me young man. Here you go, young man. Oh, I haven't forgot about you, young man. Do you need your water topped off, young man, young man, young man, young man? And I didn't know what to say because obviously, I cut my hair. Obviously, I wanted the gender attention. I wanted the gender affirmation. This is what I asked for. I asked to be called young man by the waitress at Longhorn Steakhouse. However, it felt performative. Like I don't know if you really think that I'm a young man, and I don't really know if you see. And mind you, I ordered with my voice, and when I'm ordering, I talk a bit like this. Do I sound like a young man to you? Talking like that? And in your day-to-day life, you're just not calling someone young man that often. I think it was performative. And when my younger sister started snickering, she said it again and again and again, like she was trying to ally. I see you, trans mask, 14-year-old boy. I hear your pronouns, 14-year-old boy. And, like, here my mom goes, because my mom, I don't know, on my Instagram or something, I mentioned something about using she, he pronouns, both she, her, and he, him. And, like, she was really, I don't know, offended that I didn't tell her first. Like, first of all, I just don't believe that I should have to come out. Because look at me. Look at me. Mind you, all throughout middle school, I was wearing silk ties to school every day. I was really obsessed with French tucking. If that doesn't sound like something a little gay boy would run around and talk about, the French tuck. There's no heterosexual 11-year-old girl that's obsessed with the idea of a French tuck. Because they saw it on Queer Eye. They saw it in an episode of Queer Eye. And they're like, oh my god, that's so real, that's so me. Mind you, this is the same mother. I remember vividly having this memory. What was that show with, that, like, reality show where she was, like, that lady was driving across America, and she was like, this is America, and she was, like, talking to different kinds of people, and she was, like, doing, like, investigative journalism, low-key, but, like, they did, like, one episode about, like, transgender children once, I remember. And, like, my mom was watching that. She was being real quiet while watching that. I was on the floor playing with my fucking Hot Wheels in front of her. I don't know, doing some bullshit. And she was like, games. Do you know the difference between being gay and being trans? And I was 9, so, like, not really, but I was, like, also kind of smart, so I kind of did. So I was like, yeah, I know the difference between being gay and being trans. I don't know what this has to do with me, though, because I'm a heterosexual 9-year-old girl. Mom. And then she was just, like, explain the difference to me. So I sat there, I said, gay people, they like the same sex, but trans people, they're different gender. They're stuck in the wrong body. Mind you, I don't know how I learned. Maybe I was secretly paying attention to this episode like a sleeper agent. I think I've told this story before, but nobody watched that video, so I'll tell it again. And then she was like, Games, would you tell me if you were transgender? I was like, yeah, okay, Mom. So obviously, she got the vibe. She knows the vibe. She knows what we're doing here. She knows she gave birth to a little girl boy and decided to dress up the little girl boy in girl clothes, and that's why her little girl boy turned out gay. That's what happens. That's what literally happened. She would have put me in boy clothes, I would have been straight. Unfortunately, I am attracted to men and to women. And that's the problem with my life. That's actually the problem with my life. I pray every day. Every day I pray. Asexualism, please. Bisexualism, that's a disease. That's a disease. But no, it evades me. And I can't talk about that right now. The point of the matter is, why am I coming out to that lady? That lady made me who I am. That lady knows who I am. Am I really? And number one, number two, she was born in like the 70s. She doesn't know what she and he pronouns means. I can't explain that to her. The she and he pronouns are not for her. My mom said, Games, where's Games? I can't find him. That'd be fine. But I don't expect her to do that. But for some reason, her having to find out through social media and having to field questions from our relatives, what is this she and he pronoun on Games' Instagram? I don't understand what that means. That made her so offended. She's so upset. She just loves being passive-aggressive. And the fact that people keep looking at me and seeing me as a 14-year-old boy, even though I can legally drink and rent a car. She just loves to be passive-aggressive. This is giving her the perfect opportunity to be passive-aggressive. Because we're sitting at Longhorn Steakhouse. Waitress keeps saying, young man, young man, young man. My little sisters are snickering and going, I told you, Games, that haircut makes you look like a boy. My grandma's just sitting there flipping through the menu, doesn't know what's going on, just, I don't know, trying to figure out what to order, because she doesn't understand what's going on. She doesn't want to say anything. Real polite lady. And my mom keeps saying, well, you know, Games, she goes by he and she pronouns. She doesn't care. Either or, she doesn't care. My grandma mind you, we live in the southern region of the United States. I don't think anybody at Longhorn Steakhouse is prepared to hear about she, he pronouns. I'm trying to be, a little bit discreet. And here my mother goes being passive-aggressive towards me because she doesn't like the fact that my Instagram bio said she, he pronouns, and I didn't sit her down one day and say, Mom, I'm non-binary. I remember when I came out as a bisexual. Number one, when I came out as bisexual to my mom, apparently for years and years and years and years plus going forward, unbeknownst to me, she thought I was just trying to spare her feelings. And she was like, boys? Really? Boys? I wish it wasn't true too. Not that I believe in moralizing your sexuality or like that being a real fundamental, I don't know. I'm not the only reason that it's not like liking men is bad, right? Liking men is just fine. Like it doesn't make me superior or inferior to anybody because I'm attracted to men. But it does make me have to suffer more. That's just the truth of that. There's suffering with women for certain. But I don't suffer with women the way that I suffer with men. And that's a different video. That's a different topic for a different video. I don't think that everybody would suffer as much as I do with men. I think the average, I can't talk about that right now. I originally made this video because I wanted to discuss the contents of a bad dream that I've had, which for the past 3 weeks, every night that I've gone to sleep, I've had nightmares. And these aren't like nightmares like monsters or about like crazy shit. Like it's all nightmares about like mundane, like different ways that I can literally walk out of this house today and ruin my entire life. And I think that's probably a reflection of me feeling a little bit stressed. I mean, I am starting like a new chapter. I think I mentioned this before, but like I graduated from my undergraduate institution in May, this past May, and so I'm sort of adulting at the moment. Hashtag adulting. I'm 22. I don't know why I think I've mentioned my age on here, but I also don't think anybody watched the video where I mentioned my age. They just watch the videos where I'm fucking talking mad shit about nothing and BL. And so like sort of like I signed a lease. I'm about to be living in my own place. I'm about to be doing my professional thing. Should I say? I'm stepping up in terms of professional development. Let's just say that. I won't say exactly. I won't blow up my whole spot. But I am doing something. And it's a big something, and my margin of error is like narrower than my margin of error when I was like obviously a child or in high school or like even doing college, because at my school like you can basically, they say, take as much time as you need. I don't know if they should be saying that, but I've watched people at my undergraduate institution take as much time as they need to finish their degree, so there's a lot more margin of error there. And I feel like my margin of error is so slim, and I think that feeling, that anxiety, that sort of certainty that I'm not a competent adult just yet and I'm going to mess up my entire life has been manifesting in me having a bad dream every night for the past couple of weeks about all the different kinds of things that I could do that could be mistakes. And some of these are different things that people around me in my immediate life could do. Like I had a dream the other day that one of my sisters like ran away and like was being human trafficked, and I had to stay at home and like figure out how to track her down and bring her back home and get her out of human trafficking, you know, that kind of thing. Like I had a dream that my password for my bank account got out and got leaked, and then everybody was buying all this shit on my cards, and then I had no money, and then I wasn't able to do things that I needed to do, like pay my rent, you know, that kind of thing. Tonight's dream was interesting because I think it was kind of a recursive situation, where I think it started as, in the dream, I was imagining this alternate scenario, like I was daydreaming within I don't remember what the me that was daydreaming was doing originally, but I was daydreaming in the dream, like I was pulling up this hypothetical scenario. It might have been actually that today I like went to sleep and I had like something like I was listening to some sort of podcast or YouTube video on my phone, and then I don't know, there was something about like, you know, those boats that you get on that are like those paddle boats, and they're like ducks, and you get on those paddle boats. So I had a dream about like this couple, this man, this woman, heterosexual couple on these paddle boats, going down the paddle boats. They were telling the story of like them going down this is like a formative memory. I don't know, this is a lot of framing, but there was a lot of framing and context to the scenario that is like interesting kinds of context, because with normal context, it's like context of like what's happening around it, but this is context of how this narrative was being relayed to me, like what the actual narrative was existing as. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but couple on these paddle boats, they're paddling, whatever. They get off the paddle boats, they note something about, oh, people are getting onto these big bicycles or whatever. They get onto this bus, okay? And then at some point, the bus stops being a bus and starts being a car, and then the girl stops being a different girl and just starts being me in the car, and for some reason, there's this like older like white lady, and she's driving her car, and I'm like arguing with her about something, maybe about being gay, I don't really know, but we're having this heated, passionate argument, and it's really important to me that I am winning the argument, so we're going back and forth, and like, you know, we're pointing out the window. I don't know, a lot was going on, and I don't think a lot of it made sense, but Yeah, at some point I'm arguing with this lady who's driving this car, which used to be a bus. It's a car now. We're driving the car. There's less people in the car now. We're more in a compact car. We pull up outside my grandmother's house, right? Um, I get out really quickly. The other people behind me get out really quickly. We're still arguing, going back and forth, fighting, going back and forth. There was actually a lot that was going. I don't. Okay. As I'm retelling the dream, I'm understanding now that it makes less and less sense because it was sort of shifting between different concepts, but the recurring theme, like I think the dream was trying so hard to be sort of like fantastical and mystical, but somehow it just kept being grounded in, okay, but here's something that games could actually real life do that could fuck his life up a lot. So I get out of the car, I don't close the door. The lady is like yelling. She like pulls out of like the little cul-de-sac that my grandma lives in. And I notice the door still open. I'm yelling like, "Yo, close the door! Close your door! Close your door! Close your door!" And she just keeps driving, fucking off to wherever the fuck. Okay, then it becomes like a different kind of dream for a little bit, and I get some different characters. This is more like of a fantastical. Like normally my dreams are like kind of fantastical. Like it's like not really grounded in reality, and things shift and become other things or whatever. And like there's like I don't really know what I could say normally about my dreams. If I remember it, it's just odd. But then we come back to me, and I'm like, in the dream, it like becomes me talking again. I'm like, okay, I'm really worried. Like I'm really worried. I left that woman with her car door open, and that's like dangerous. Like I have to go, and somehow I know exactly how to get to a parking garage where like I knew she was gonna be, and like mind you, I had to walk like 3 steps to get to this parking garage where I knew she was gonna be. And then it's like a big crime scene. Apparently there's been some like huge accident because the door, I left it open, and I was yelling like close your door, but like I could have closed it, or I could have tried harder to like track her down. And then it occurs to me that all of a sudden I'm wearing a blazer and I have something illegal in the pocket of my blazer. Somehow that thought comes into my mind, like my subconscious, my hypothalamus, my hippocampus was like, but games, what if you were at a crime scene and you were implicated in the crime and you had drugs in your pocket? And so I'm hyper aware of this. I'm like, okay, but I have to check in, like I have to know what's wrong. And then this police officer stops me, says, "Games, my drug dog just sniffed something on you. You got something on you. You're kind of the suspect. You're coming with me." The drug dog was sniffing me, said, "This is the one, this is the one, this is the one." So I'm like, oh fuck. I have to get rid of these things in my pocket, this crime in my pocket. I gotta get rid of this crime. I know that I can get off of not closing that door, but this is harder to explain. And then somehow my mom is there. Somehow my mom is there now. And going like, okay, like Games, it's fine, like just go into the room, just talk to the man, like we'll figure out the rest of it. My mom. And so we're walking, and I quickly we pass the trash can, and quickly everybody turned, like shove it in the trash can and like keep walking. And then the police officer's like, "What the fuck? I totally saw that. What's in the trash can?" I was like, "It's not related to the crime. I don't think it's evidence related to the crime because it's not evidence related to the crime," because in my mind I knew like, okay, I didn't do anything. I didn't use these things. They're just in my pocket randomly for no good reason. And so yeah, and then he's like, well, okay, well, we're gonna take this trash can and we're gonna look through things. And then all of a sudden, like, I was thinking about, like, a Cat's Eye performance, and, like, the Cat's Eye in there where I was also on stage trying to do the dance and, like, prove that I was, like, going up against Cat's Eye, and I was like, okay, I've been talking about. And then I come back to this regular dream. It's so odd. Basically, what happens is I'm interrogated. We go through each item of the trash can one by one. He goes, "Is this what you're writing?" And like, obviously, it's like a bunch of tissues. So it's like, why would I throw that away? I honestly could have said, yeah, I just had some trash in my pocket. But remember, when I threw it away, I said it was just something bad in my pocket. It's not related to the crime. I just had something bad in my pocket that would get me in trouble, and and like I was pointing backward at my mom, like, you know, I it was just something bad. And so go one by one by one by one, and then we see obviously, okay, these are drugs. We get to the drugs part, and I go, I don't know. Yes, was it this? I go, I don't know. I should also interrupt this dream and say, like, to give some context on this police officer, is he was like, you know, he was like youngish. He was my age. He was kind of attractive, and I thought we were kind of flirting as well in the dream. So I've got a lot going on right now subconsciously. I've got a lot of fear, I've got a lot of whimsy, and I've got some desires that manifest in my subconscious because I repress them in my day-to-day life, like any good citizen would do. Ha! Think about that. Basically, close the box or whatever, and then suddenly, like, the police station is my grandma's house again, so I'm just sort of walking around my grandma's house again, and, like, I flirt some more with this police officer, I don't know. In real life, I would never flirt with a cop. In real life, I wouldn't. I was being implicated in some crimes, though, and I don't know, there was a serious medical emergency, and, you know, a lot was going on. So, yeah, I was, this cop, I was like, you know, we'll figure out it was clear it was, like, starting to believe me that it wasn't my fault about the whatever car accident happened, but I was like, you know, like, is there any way, like, I can't get in trouble for the stuff that I had in my pocket, right? Like, because that's double jeopardy. Like, if I get off of this one crime, I don't know, and I think he even said in the dream, like, that's not exactly how double jeopardy works, but I'm not really concerned about it. It was such a small amount, like, it's not even prosecutable anyways. It was like, you know, my mom was there, my mom saw it, she might be worried, is there some way that we could conceal this from my mom? He's like, okay, like, let me see, like, I could try to help you out. It turns out my mom had taken the box and put it in the trunk of her car. She was gonna drive off with this evidence. The police was like, you can't do that. And then I woke up. So do you see, there's a lot of parts of the dream that were just like, oh, this is about this family, and this is about, like, this person that is doing like this, like, political intrigue drama, and, like, they walk up to some extremist groups and they get pulled into this extreme, and it's like they also have to, like, learn that they have this gift with medicine, like that story was happening in the background of the foreground of the dream, which was me stressed about going to jail for breaking the law over something stupid. And that's been sort of, like, the kinds of dreams that I've been having, like it'll be dragons, magic, fairy tales, and it's like, oh, you forgot to turn in that form? You didn't press submit on that form? Yeah, I'm sorry, we have to fire you immediately. Yeah, we gotta have to fire you immediately. Yeah, you don't have any rent. You don't have any money. You can't pay rent this month. I'm sorry, you're evicted. Look at the dragon though. And that is concerning to me, because in my day-to-day, like, I have, like, these sort of passing thoughts about having stress about my, you know, upcoming independence. But they're kind of passing. I don't feel all that worried. But now I'm wondering, like, is my mental health poor? Is my mental health a concern? Am I worried? Seriously? Because I don't love to be worried. I don't love to stress. I really think that I was put on this planet to have fun, as long as fun is available. I think they're gonna be done with fun in, like, 3 years. Like, I think we have 3 years left on it being fun to live on this planet. But that'll just be for people. And, like, I think dolphins will still continue to, like, have gay sex with each other and, like, play with, was it pufferfish? So I think this is, like, a humanity problem. Like, humanity's problems is humanity problems, you know? I have some sort of sense of relief when I think about the state of the world in that sense, because there's more to existence and to the universe than me and my cousins, the human race, you know what I mean? So, obviously you want your cousins to do well, but you can have some sense of, oh, there's going to be continuity post the family reunion. That's basically what the video was gonna be. I hope that this video saves. I've been trying to, because I also make music. I think I posted some of the music that I've made on this page, but I made like a video to go along with this song that I made. I've been editing it. And like, here's the thing, like, look at my nails, like, they're kind of longish, so I can't, whenever I'm typing, I've learned, my nails have always been, like, about this length. So I've learned to, like, hyper extend my fingers like this in a way that I type and when I use my trackpad. So if I use my trackpad too much, this also happened when I was writing Thai BL fanfic. Last year, I really began to be in my Thai BL, like, fandom era. And I made this whole, like, social media AU. It clocked in at around, like, 50,000 words before, like, I ran out of steam and energy. Like, I learned how to code HTML. I was, like, graphic designing. Like, I was in Canva doctoring and changing images so that they can fit into my social media AU. And it's a lot of, like, when you're doing that kind of stuff, it's a lot of, like, pressing this way and dragging this way, and also a lot of typing, because I would literally, like, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. The things that I would, and I'm not even exaggerating, I would wake up, write Thai BL fanfiction, sleep, piss, eat, write Thai BL fanfiction. And those were the only activities that I ever had. And sometimes I would eat and write Thai BL fanfiction at the same time. I did that for, like, at least a week straight. And then, like, I got, like, tenosynovitis. It was actually in this hand. Like, this is my non-dominant hand. I got, like, tenosynovitis in, like, this joint. And, like, it like, I basically sprained this joint because I was doing too much typing. And, like, it usually feels normal. Sometimes I bend this finger and, like, it's a little bit sore. It was, like, every time I tried to, like, bend this finger, for at least, like, 2 months, 2.5 months, I think, after, I, like, first noticed, like, oh, ow, this hurts, what is going on? Like, for 2 months straight, like, this joint was not fully healed, and then, so yeah, I realized, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then now, like, a year later, I've been trying to edit this video, and I noticed that, oh, I'm feeling pain, and this time it's in my dominant hand. So I've been trying to, like, recognize, okay, maybe I need to, like, take breaks or whatever. And, like, I haven't used it. Luckily, like, I feel fine right now, because I think the bad part was, like, this started hurting and I just kept working. I kept using it. Don't do that. But yeah. Why did I start talking about this? YouTube video. Oh yeah, so I've been editing that video. There might be less space on my computer right now. I hope that this video saves. I don't know. Hopefully it will. If you're writing Thai BL fanfiction, take breaks. Don't carry drugs in your pocket, because those are illegal. Why do you have drugs? Don't do drugs. I don't do drugs. Stay groovy. And let me know to what extent you think I look like a 14-year-old boy. If you were my waitress at Longhorn Steakhouse, would you call me young man? Thank you.